Um, this is called Who Killed Mr. Moonlight? Thank you to Bauhaus for the title. Flynn lies back in the chair, the local wine warm in his blood. It's been a long time since he felt this still. He closes his eyes and drinks in quiet pleasure, only for the cicadas to strike up a tune, thrumming rhythm, their percussion for a hot summer's evening. Twilight teases the breeze, twisting and turning its tails, encouraging the conductor of leaves and corn to prance and skip. The flurry disturbs the song of distant owls. An alcohol grin lights his face as the decaying day accepts defeat. In this peaceful place, darkness rushes in and shrouds the human residue. It has no foothold here, its false light and harsh voices banished, vanity lost to nature. A shy moon hides in the lustre behind the trees and thickets. The woodland shuffles, uncomfortable with the proximity. Its black silhouettes rustle and claw at the diamond-adorned sky, scrabbling for escape. A single cloud rises from the horizon, a solitary wanderer in a speckled ocean. Flynn tracks his path as it heads east on a collision course with the restless trees. A breath of perfumed air fractures the lone traveller, casting scales of dusty flotsam into an aubergine night. Calm but distracted, he reaches across the table, pours more velvet liquid, and then falls into the deepest sleep. When he awakes, pulled from slumber by a courteous sun, he feels cold. A sticky residue clings to his back. Flynn stands. There at his side lays a woman, the corpse mutilated, chest torn to fibrous shreds. He doesn't understand, but he knows no one will believe his innocence. Not the strange man who lives at the edge, whose society watches from afar. He needs to leave before the accusations draw breath. Flynn has lived in the small wooden cabin on the forest's southern border for most of his adulthood, working the land for survival. He knew his context, it was his life. Now 30 days into his trek, he was lost, short of food, short of water. This wasn't the place he understood. The trees and bushes barren of fruit, briars devoid of scurrying animals. Trying to make sense of this new world, he walked for another 2 hours, until day trudged towards evening, an inky blue filling the gaps between the stars, a liquid black filling the space between his thoughts. Moonlight, close your eye, blind me to this place. Let me fall amongst the twisted roots, make them my bed, my last resting place. I no longer wish to see the carved skin of wooden fingers that contain me here, that scratch at my fears, plucking them from my head and setting them in your shadows. Staggering, tearing at branches, he pushes forward, looking for a safer resting spot. Up ahead, in a shallow clearing, the moon illuminates a ragged shack. Moving closer, he could make out the silver slither of smoke and a curtain-clad window, muffled light diffusing its weave. Are you teasing me? Do dark mirages exist where you shine? Or does this dim image mark my future, a chance, however distant? Stood at the door, Flynn felt for a lock. The timber is glazed in a warm sweat, cold set against the heat. He recalls what he left behind and then knocks. Will you open? Do you have the inclination to comfort my stony heart, to let me within your walls just for one night? I can pay, I have money, but what value does it have if I die here alone? The drapes rustle. Brown eyes seek the night. He waits, expectant, the lunar glow dazzling, ridiculing the shallow skin that hangs from his once muscular body. Nothing. He bangs again, silence. Flynn skirts around the outside of the hut. It is bare of further openings. Accepting that this shelter holds no joy for him, he continues until, in an instant, the moon is shrouded. A veil blurs the rocky ground below his feet. Like the thorns before, he is tripped and slides down a mossy embankment. For a moment he lies, awaiting clarity. The clouds shift on a light breeze, and he's setting his radio once more. A gravel road stretches before him, carving a narrow swathe through the trees. Terminating in the speckled lustre of a nearby town, he laughs. So this is my salvation, a home amid the feckless and bored, somewhere to forget who I am, to salve my conscience. I may be fragile, but I would rather perish waiting for the sun to rise than take what you offer me. Flynn collapses to the wet ground, despair and exhaustion, tedious fixtures in his confused mind. Silent tears well in his veined eyes, dry screams chain his tongue. He falls onto his back and stares at a glistening sky before succumbing to a restless sea. Flynn's stupor is invaded by the cool mist of dawn, and he sits, clothes hanging in tatters, red stains scarring his arms and hands. He has no recollection, except from a scratching itch at the back of his head. Scrabbling back up the slope, he makes his way back to the shanty of the previous night. Its door hangs drunk on broken hinges. Flynn pushes inside. A rank smell floats through the small space, and there on the floor, in a lake of crimson, lies a man. His torso split, his offal lost to a feeding animal. And then it makes sense. Starved, in need of sustenance, lunatising, Flynn's inner self had relented as it had before. Now he understood why he'd been brought to the fringe of this new town. Flynn was the full moon's reaper, and the moon wanted blood.